Hello everyone, welcome to another 3D design video brought to you by the Corona Public Library's Maker Exchange. My name is Mr. Martin, and today I'll be showing you how to make some happy face cookie cutters. Let's get started. As you can see, today we are starting in 3D Builder. This is a free app that you can download if you're running Windows 10. If you have trouble finding it in your app list, simply look under the Windows Accessories. By clicking on New Scene, we get a work plane here, very similar to what we've used before. The mouse controls are virtually the same, and we're simply going to insert a shape over here on the top. Now this is a cylinder, and obviously if we're making happy faces here, this is going to be our base, and we can then customize it by adding the eyeballs and the mouth, or other shapes. So first thing on the bottom, we do have three tools: move, rotate, and scale. And by clicking on the scale option, I can then adjust the shape of the cylinder. So here, I'm going to simply settle it just to make sure that it is flat on our work plane. And now we can get to work. So the first thing we're going to do is create the eyeballs. So I'm just going to insert another cylinder, and with this, simply scale it down. It doesn't really matter if it's exact or not. And just move it on over. Now our base cookie here, we did make thick enough, just obviously you don't want cookies that are super thin, so just be aware of that measurement. But with this, we don't need to be too specific. Simply insert the cylinder and make sure that we are going all the way through our base circle. Now, similar to what we've done in the past, we are going to cut this out or subtract it from our base circle. And over here we can choose, using the selection tools, which objects to manipulate at any given time. So now that we've got the eyeballs in place, we can go ahead and move on to the mouth. And for this, we're going to insert a sphere. Now 3D Builder has a really nice tool called Split. Using this tool, we can choose to keep either half of the object that we're going to split, but for now we'll just keep the top. I'm going to move it down and snap it to my work plane just to make it a little easier to work with. And once I've got it lined up, I'm simply going to copy and paste it to get another slice. Now I'm lifting this up just a little bit and moving it over. When I use the subtract tool now, I'm going to be left with just a little slice of that original sphere. And as you might guess, we're going to use the split tool once again to simply cut this in half and get a nice semicircle cut out. So there we go, we've got our semicircle. Now, at first sight, it is a little too big. Moving it over confirms that, so we can use the scale tool, make sure to lock the aspect ratio if you'd like, and then we can simply shrink it down. And there we have it, we have a basic smiley face created here. But of course, the next step we need to do is actually make the cutouts. So I'm going to select all the objects that I want to subtract. Make sure you only select one at a time. And if we select it properly, there we go. Just kidding. Now we've got it. This is why it's very important to select the right objects here. And we have our cutout. Now you'll notice this is barely the first step. We still need to make essentially the inverse of this in order to finalize our cookie cutter. So for the next step, I'm going to insert a new cylinder, and this is going to serve as our new base. We're going to manipulate this by using the smiley face cutout that we've created to finalize our cookie cutter. So we're going to enlarge it just a bit. You'll notice there are various ways to scale or adjust the object. 3D Builder makes that fairly simple. And it does work with touch controls as well, so if you're using this on a tablet, for example a Surface Pro, you will be able to use your touch controls to manipulate this as well. Now if I move over the cutout that we've created already, if we're going to subtract from this base object, you'll notice that that doesn't quite work. But I'll explain why in a bit. So first we're going to enlarge it, create our little cookie cutter that we want, and as before, use the subtract tool. Now you'll see, technically, this would work if all of the pieces were connected. So we would still have to create little infills or pieces going across. Alternatively, we can just leave a base layer. So undoing that action, and oops, have both of them selected here. So if I remove our cutout from the base again, and make sure that I lift it up a little bit. So all it takes is me moving this either up or down. It depends on, your preference here. But leaving just enough material left to maintain a solid base and only cutting out, I would say, halfway through our base object, we're left with the smiley face cutout that will actually work. So here, if you were to press this on a pile of dough, you would get the eyeball imprints as well as the mouth. And if you press hard enough, you'd get a nice cookie cutter, or a nice smiley face cookie shape. And now you have the knowledge to go out and create a cookie cutter with any smiley face design that you would like. We hope you've enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.